Each town, all the points of vantage, military positions, all the available landing places on the coast, all railway connections, and telephone and telegraph communications were carefully noted for future reference. With the assistance of certain well-known military experts, the battlefields were carefully gone over and the positions marked upon the ordnance map. Thus, through 4 months we pushed on day by day, collecting information and material, sometimes in the big cities, sometimes in the quietest and remote hamlets, all of which were carefully tabulated for use. Whatever critics may say, and however their opinions may differ, it can only be pointed out, first, that the general idea of the scheme is in accordance with the expressed and published opinions of the first strategists of to-day, and that as far as the forecast of events is concerned, it has been written from a first-hand knowledge of the local colour of each of the scenes described. The enemy's proclamations reproduced are practically copies of those issued by the Germans during the War of 1870. That the experts and myself will probably be condemned as alarmists and denounced for revealing information likely to be of assistance to an enemy goes without saying. Indeed, an attempt was made in the House of Commons to suppress its publication altogether. Mr. R. C. Lehmann, who asked a question of the Prime Minister, declared that it was calculated to prejudice our relations with the other powers, while the late Sir H. Campbell Bannerman, in a subsequent letter apologizing to me for condemning in the House a work he had not read, repeated that it was likely to produce irritation abroad and might conceivably alarm the more ignorant public at home. Such a reflection cast by the late Prime Minister upon the British nation was, to say the least, curious, yet it only confirmed the truth that the Government are strenuously seeking to conceal from our people the appalling military weakness and the consequent danger to which the country is constantly open. To be weak is to invite war. To be strong is to prevent it. To arouse our country to a sense of its own lamentable insecurity is the object of this volume, which is somewhat compressed from the form in which it originally appeared, and that other nations besides ourselves are interested in England's grave peril is proved by the fact that it has already been published in the German, French, Spanish, Danish, Russian, Italian, and even Japanese languages. William Le Queux. Speaking in the House of the Lords on the 10th July 1905, I said, "It is to the people of the country I appeal to take up the question of the Army in a sensible, practical manner. For the sake of all they hold dear, let them bring home to themselves what would be the condition of Great Britain if it were to lose its wealth, its power, its position. The catastrophe that may happen if we still remain in our present state of unpreparedness is visibly and forcibly illustrated in Mr. Le Queux's new book, which I recommend to the perusal of everyone who has the welfare of the British Empire at heart." 29 November 1905. Roberts, Field Marshal. End of preface. Book 1. The Attack. Chapter 1. The Surprise. Two of the myriad of London's night workers were walking down Fleet Street together soon after dawn on Sunday morning, 2nd September. The sun had not yet risen. That main artery of London traffic, with its irregular rows of closed shops and newspaper offices, was quiet and pleasant in the calm, mystic light before the falling of the smoke pall. Only at early morning does the dear old city look its best, in that one quiet, sweet hour when the night's toil has ended and the day's has not yet begun. Only in that brief interval at the birth of day, when the rose tints of the sky glow slowly into gold, does the giant metropolis repose, at least as far as its business streets are concerned, for at 5 o'clock the toiling millions begin to again from all points of the compass, and the stress and storm of London at once recommences. And in that hour of silent charm, the two grey-bearded sub-editors, though engaged in offices of rival newspapers, were making their way homeward to Dulwich to spend Sunday in a well-earned rest, and were